Kaitlin Olson, everybody, give it up. Let's hear it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Such a big fan of your work.
Thank you.
I've loved It's Always Sunny since it started. I love the Mick. It's amazing to see you on a different kind of comedy that's still got a similar darkness, but has to sort of
Be me, you know.
Yeah. Are you dark?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm horrible.
Really?
Terrible parent. Yeah.
Oh, I
Negative.
don't believe that at all. I believe that you and Mac are good parents.
Let's always call him Mac.
I think that you guys are probably incredibly responsible, good parents. No one runs a TV show and is not super responsible.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I like to think that I'm a much better parent than Mickey is.
This show, Dave and John Chernin, right, are the original sort of writers, and they developed it. Are they the showrunners as well with you?
They created it. They're the showrunners. They run a writer's room.
They were with you on It's Always Sunny for quite some time, right?
Yeah, they spent a few years on Sunny, and we got to be friends, and we just liked each other right away and hung out, you know, socially as well. And they're just really, really talented, funny people.
And how did they pitch this idea to you? Or did they bring it to you, or did they bring it to Fox first and then sort of tried to get you on board as well?
Yeah, they didn't bring it to me. They left Sunny to go write their own thing, and I heard about it, and I heard it was good, and I heard it was starring a woman, and then I heard they were kind of like using me as the model for Mickey.
You're like, what the fuck, guys?
I was super flattered. I was like, that's so nice, thank you. But I don't think anybody ever thought I could actually do it, because I was on a television show.
Right.
And you typically can't do both. But when they sold it to Fox and they were going to make the pilot, they came to me because we were, I think we had finished season 10 of Sunny, and were up for renegotiation because they wanted to do a couple more. So when you're up for renegotiation, you can be like, cool, I'll do it, but if
right.
I would also love to do this. So they brought it to me, and I was like, I really didn't want to like it. I knew it was going to be funny because it was them, but I was like, I can't. I have 2 kids and a job. I'm a responsible parent.
Like you were good. And
I was fine.
I got a show. I'm good.
Yeah. My life was good. I loved the show I was on. I worked a few months out of the year. I got to spend the rest of the time with them. But it was really, really funny, and I just was like, oh, I think I could make that character really good. And
you do.
Thanks. Yeah, I love it. It's fun. It's easy when you have good writers. I don't think writers get enough credit, but thank you.
So you did like 17 episodes last season, right? I
Yes.
think. Are you guys doing like a full 22 boat this season?
I don't know how it normally works, but we've been offered 13, and then if it does well, then they offer a bunch more. So
I think in the business they call it the back half.
Right, that is what they call it in the business.
That's what people who have said who have been on this stage.
This guy's really smart. Well, he's really in. You know.
Just do 5 of these a day, and eventually you'll pick up a couple words. Yeah. So you're moving into season 2, and I find that oftentimes with the second season of a good comedy, it's better just because the first season is wonderful, but there's a lot of exposition, there's a lot of figuring out what you can do with your actors, what they're good at, and like what you can then challenge them with later. And people get into a comfort zone with the second season. Does it feel like you guys are sort of hitting a stride?
Both. I feel a couple different ways. I was really surprised at how well they wrote the pilot, because pilots are awful. They're the worst, especially when you've got 5 characters. And I thought they just did such a good job of laying it out. It wasn't that expository. You get who is who and how they relate to each other. So I'm always scared I'm gonna let everyone down. So when we got a second season, I was like, oh great, I can't do 17 more good episodes. People will realize I'm a fraud, and I'm just, but
you live in the same world of insecurity that I operate in.
Oh yeah,
I think. Oh, that's great.
I think we're all like that.
Darkness comes from.
Yeah, right. It's awesome inside my head.
Eventually, this is all gonna go down in flames, guys.
I'll disappoint you all one way or another. But
I've already disappointed myself.
God, yeah, I'm sweating now. I'm like, why did I reveal that to them? They thought one thing. No, but the what did happen this year is we really figured out how to write for the other characters. For example, every time we have a table read, Chip's dialogue is so funny. I am dying laughing. Like I can't. He is being lobbed such gold. I'm just like, Thomas, you should be really excited about this, because not a lot of people get that. We love that character so much. It's so ridiculous. He has some amazing stuff coming up. And same with Sophia. Like, I think, we wanted to make sure that the Sabrina character wasn't just like the bitchy teenage girl. Nobody wants to see that for more than about 2 minutes. So she's got to have some layers, and they have to be able to, Mickey and Sabrina have to be able to butt heads in different ways so you don't get bored. Alba's gone off the rails.
She went off the rails last season.
Yeah. She's further derailed.
This show does a pretty incredible job of kind of having its cake and eating it at the same time with the kids. And the way that
It's having its cake and eating it too.
Is it really?
No, that's
not
just...
at the same time?
No.
It's two?
No, it's two, right? Yeah.
Who wants to tell me I'm
Everyone's
wrong?
nodding.
Who wants to
They're
tell
all
me I'm
nodding
wrong?
at me.
Don't nod. Anyway, yeah, it does
What were you
that.
saying?
The kids, in the sense that they do get to play the part of like wisecracking kid where I can't believe this came out of this child's mouth, but there is also a fair amount of layer and background to them that consistently gets added and added to with each episode. I mean, that's just a testament to the writing being consistently good. Are you kind of always surprised at the scripts and sort of blown away that they can churn out this great material consistently?
I'm in awe of good writers always. I'm so appreciative of them, and yes, I'm also very particular. So if it seems like something's going kind of steadily in that direction, we'll sit down and I'll express that and we'll talk about it. And they've just done a really great job of just being creative and coming up with plot lines and storylines and characteristics for these characters that you haven't seen a million times before. And those are the kinds of things that make me laugh. And
where do you think you get being particular from? Does it come from having done It's Always Sunny for like the last 10 years and really getting to kind of do what you want with your friends?
That's a huge part of it. I've always been a little bit of a perfectionist, even like with my improv background. Anytime someone asks me to do like an improv show or an improv game, I'm like, oh God, no, it's terrifying. Like I don't like not knowing exactly what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna do it. And then I went to Sunny where the people that you're acting with are also the writers. So it's just all kind of being done right there. And if you want to change it up, it's easy. And, we've been doing that for 12 years.
I thought it was like 14. Is it?
Well, 13 years has gone by. We didn't do it last season. We took a season off. Yeah, but we're going to do 2 more. So we will eventually do 14 seasons. But yeah.
And then more after that. I imagine It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, 2 at a time until we're 95 years old.
Yeah, I kind of imagine It's Always Sunny to be like The Simpsons and like a live action Simpsons in the way that like nothing will ever change and like, you guys will surely get older on screen, but nothing will change.
Yeah, we just look older, but those characters will never change.
Do you ever want them to? Did you ever think that they could or would or try to get them to change?
No, not at all. That to all of us is what's so funny about those characters. It's so funny to me that those guys are so mean to Dee, and all she does is stay and like try it and be a part of the gang and like prove herself. It's so sad, and it just makes me laugh so hard. I love it.
I don't want to talk too much about It's Always Sunny because we're here to talk about the Mick, but one of my favorite things of any comedy ever is Dee trying to do stand-up.
Yeah.
Throwing, like,
She's so
gagging.
bad.
The gagging was just one of the funniest things I had ever seen on television was you doing that.
Thank
it was
you.
so perfect.
I'm a great gagger, guys. I don't know. Thank you. Yeah, that whole thing started, like, I don't know, season 2 or 3. Glenn and I were just, like, screwing around, and I was making him laugh pretending to gag at something, and he was like, you got to do that again.
Your gag is too good.
Yeah, they just end up writing everything in that, they'll zero in on they'll find an insecurity, and then it's just that. Then suddenly that's Dee's #1 character trait.
When I watch It's Always Sunny with my girlfriend, she loves it, but she always gets so sad about Dee because
she shouldn't.
It's hilarious. They always make fun of your looks, and she always goes, she's so beautiful. What the hell?
That's so nice. Thank you. Yes, my at the time secret boyfriend, Rob McElhenney. I said something about, I think they wanted to put my hair like in a high ponytail, and I was like, I can put it in a ponytail, but I am not pulling my hair off my face. I hate my forehead. Really, I swear to God, the next week they make fun of me for having a 5 head the entire episode. And I was like, I'm a good sport. That's okay. I like this.
You go home. Oh God.
I hate my forehead.
And that's a big difference between, I think, the Mick or a network show and a show like FX is that the characters on It's Always Sunny will never change. They don't have to change episode to episode. But with the Mick, you do kind of have to ride this line of the characters learning some kind of lesson from the story. There has to be a growth almost per episode.
Well, and we want to on this show. It was important to us to do a family comedy that was actually funny for the grown-ups. You know what I mean? Like we wanted to do that. And I want Mickey to have a little bit of heart. And I want you to recognize that despite herself, she wants to take care of them. But then I love going back and forth between Mickey being like, screw them, I just want to live in this house, you know? So, I mean, our primary goal is to make a comedy, but it doesn't bother me that this character has a little bit of heart.
Well, all of
Dee doesn't.
you get to have once a year you get to play no heart,
Right.
and then the other.
And then I go home, I'm very confused.
You're too, like, Mom, do you love us?
I don't know.
And when it comes to the show and the sort of heart that she develops, it's always about the kids. It's always like, wait, I do like these kids. I do want to take care of
One of them. I think she legitimately hates the two older ones, but she loves Ben. Yeah.
But sometimes Ben turns on her, as we saw in the last season.
Oh yeah. It's not gonna end well for him.
What kind of hijinks? Such a stupid word. What
Sure
kind
is.
Yeah.
I'm really mean to you today. I'm sorry.
Please give it to me.
I get nervous and I just like attack.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
You said really nice things about my hair and glasses in the green room.
I do think you
so
have nice
we
hair
can-
and glasses.
I'll just hold on to that.
Did you have
and
to bring
can
that here?
Bring.
That's like retweeting when someone gives you a compliment but quoting it first.
I didn't walk out of the green room and go, "Hello, so my glasses."
Yeah.
I did not
Okay.
do
No,
that.
it's okay. I do. It's true. I like it. I like that.
To remind you that you were nice to me at
Okay.
one time.
Right. Thank you. I'll get back to that.
Bring it. No, I'm saying that you can be as mean as you want because you gave me that
Good,
before.
good, because I didn't want
I'm
to go
just
back
gonna
to that. I wanted
keep
to-
that in my heart,
Okay.
and you can do this.
My gift to you. Take
Break-
that home.
Yeah, no, I'm holding on to it right now to not break down. What sort of hijinks can we see in this season?
Well, you know, we leave this family with their house burning down, which is a great obstacle. So you have to see Mickey kind of trying to figure out where they're going to live, and that was so much fun to brainstorm that answer that we just ended up deciding let's just do all these. So they get to.
Are you in the writers' room working with Dave and John as well?
I'm not writing at all, but I get pitched things and I pop in and yeah, we have these discussions.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Would you have taken a show if you didn't?
No.
If you weren't able to do that?
Not something like this where like I'm front and center, you know? Like I thought it was such a funny show. I really like Fox. I think if we're gonna do a network show, Fox is definitely the home for us.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure that it was my brand of comedy. And I had those conversations with the guys, and I had the conversations with Fox, and everyone was like, yeah, we want to do this as a partnership. And so it would have been really hard for me. Also, I'm working with a lot of kids too, and I love being able to work with them and help them on their dialogue and coach them. And if I was just an actor on the show, it would be very weird for me to be giving other actors actor notes. You just don't do that.
Or to be around kids and to be kind of like blasé about the whole thing because you're just an actor there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been. This is a show I wouldn't have been able to just show up and do my thing and leave. I have a lot of opinions about.
Are you ever the type of actor who can kind of show up and just do their thing and leave, or are you like, you know, I think it's a great thing that you have opinions, but have you sort of settled into the idea that like you need to be in places where you can, voice your opinion?
I need to trust who's in charge, and then I can. Like, so on Sunny, I trust them. I think they're geniuses. I think they're incredibly funny and incredibly smart. And I also get to show up and do whatever I want with Dee, and then we sort of work it, and we all improvise together. And so I really am kind of just showing up there, doing my job, and going home. On this show, I'm the one in charge, so I got to know what I'm doing, but I also have to know what they're doing and what they should be doing. And a couple of them have come to me, and this is very new to a couple of them, and they're nervous and they want to look good and they are trusting me. I ask them to do things that are way outside of their comfort zone, and I ask them to trust me that I will never let anything stupid end up on TV. If it doesn't work, no one will ever see it. And so that's a big responsibility. I take that very seriously because I know what that's like having someone, there's a camera rolling and someone's asking you to do something big and broad, and if you're not comfortable with it, it can be crippling. And so,
No one knows, no one knows how stupid you feel doing stuff in front
No
of a
way.
camera and in front of a crew.
No.
Like the amount of comfort that needs to be laid at the feet of the people who are trying to do those things on camera is humongous.
It really is, and it's a lot of pressure when you are not quite an adult yet.
Yeah, when you're a developing teenager, like...
And you want to impress the people around you, and like these guys all came in as Sunny fans. I scared them, and
That's kind of cool too, that there's like teenage Sunny fans, right? Like,
it was very cool that there were teenage Sunny fans. It was not cool that I was scaring them because...
that's for me. It's for you to scare me. You can do that.
Yeah, I want to. I'm going to do more backstage. I can't wait for this to be done so I can go beat you up back there.
It's okay. When it comes to Sunny, I have to ask, do you, after 12 seasons, do you have favorite D moments that you remember, that you hold on to?
Yeah, I mean, I love all that stand-up stuff. The one where the gang broke D, the way that they celebrate, the way that they celebrated. I'll never forget that. I didn't realize Charlie and Rob were going to play it this way. So at the very end of that episode, she thinks that the curtains are opening and she's going out to do stand-up on Conan. They've taken her on this big flight. She has no idea that, so when the curtains open and she's standing in the bar and it's a whole big joke and they're all there I knew that was going to happen, obviously. I didn't realize that Charlie and Rob were going to, be so congratulatory to each other. They popped champagne. There was confetti. They were hugging. They were almost weeping. It was so funny to me that they were just seemed like this amazing, heartfelt celebration for something so unbelievably cruel. That's one of my favorite moments, just as an actor seeing that. I was just like, this is such an amazing choice they made.
Have you guys ever found on that show that, after doing 12 seasons, that sometimes it gets stale for you and you have to find new ways to sort of mix it up or make it still feel fresh and alive? The
smartest thing that Rob, who's our showrunner, does is insist that we don't do more than 10 a year. Whereas, a lot of us, especially early on, were like, what? I would love to do more than 10. It'd be great. It's basic cable. They're not paying me a lot. But he was like, no, I want to do 10 quality episodes. And we didn't want to stretch ourselves too thin. And I'm really appreciative of that because I'm in awe every time I get a script. Because I'm just like, I don't know whose brain would come up with this or find a way to go so far away from it and then bring it all back together. So no, I haven't experienced it getting stale, but I think that's because we don't do very many a season.
Do you worry about something like that the Mick is only on its second season. It's obviously not going to get stale, and even if it was going to get stale, I don't think you'd say it while promoting it. But do you worry about something like that, though, going into a show that could do 22 episodes a season?
Yeah, because I am one of those people who would just rather, I don't want to show up everywhere just to be seen. I don't want to just do a bunch of episodes just for the cash. It's important to me that they're funny and that what's important to me is that I feel good about the product that I'm putting out. So if people don't like it, I can be okay with that. It's not going to crush me if somebody doesn't like an episode if I like the episode. It will crush me if it's I don't like it either, but here you go, and then it gets destroyed.
That's an anomaly for an actress and an actor. Most actors and actresses want to just be on a show, be on camera. They want to see themselves on camera, Where do you think that comes from, that it's much more about the quality for you?
I don't know.
That lack of desperation is what I'm saying. Where do you think that lack of desperation comes from?
Well, at this stage of my life, I'm fortunate enough that my husband has a great job. I have another great job. Our kids are good. So there's no need for me to do it just for the money. But starting out, I certainly was desperate. I did the same thing everybody else did and had 3 part-time jobs and was auditioning and lived in a tiny apartment by myself.
Curb for a little while, right?
I did Curb. I did the whole Groundlings program, which is like a 5-year commitment. So anytime you're not working or sleeping, you're writing and trying to do all that stuff. I don't know. I think I got involved in a very competitive group right away, and I just wanted to be really good at something. So I don't know. I don't know that all actors just want to take whatever comes along, but
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not sure. I've always been a little bit of I'm very hard on myself. I think that's part of it too. I don't want to just show up and just kind of be like, it's just fine.
Have you ever had an experience where you showed up and you didn't trust the people who were putting you on camera and you had to kind of deal with that? Basically a learning moment where you realized you really only want to do stuff where you trust the situation?
I did. I did a show that did not turn out well. It was called Kelsey Grammer Presents the Sketch Show.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
That's not what it was.
Yes, it was. They were wonderful people, and yes, it was. But the problem is, what happened was it was a British production company who wanted to make the American version of a British sketch show. And the British sketch show made me laugh, but it was very British. And what they said was they wanted us to do the American version of it, but we're going to shoot it in England. We're like, that's great. What a great opportunity. We get there, and then they're like, oh, no, don't change anything. We're just going to do this. And all of us were like, that's not what I had signed up for. So it was, I felt very out of control, and I felt like I was saying things when I could have been making them funnier, but they weren't letting me play around with the dialogue. And yeah, it was that trip.
Was Kelsey Grammer actually the host of this, or was that a joke?
It wasn't a joke. At times it felt like a joke. No,
I do love the idea of a joke of like a Kelsey Grammer hosted sketch show where he's like, welcome back.
Gosh, I feel like if I say anything else, I'm gonna get in trouble. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. He was lovely to me. He wasn't there very often.
Nice.
Yeah, he wasn't over there in England with us. I think he did a sketch or two with us when we came back to America.
So
but
it was his show.
Yeah.
I don't mean this to knock him at all.
We just had a bad experience. So I was on the show with Paul F. Tompkins and Mary Lynn Ricecup, who are wonderful and still very good friends of mine. Yeah.
Mary Lynn is amazing on It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, she's Gail the Snail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you gotta salt her. Oh, she's the best. Yeah, she's great. We changed the title to Kelsey Grammer Resents the Sketch Show instead of Presents the Sketch Show, because he just wasn't around at all. Guys, this has taken a real dark turn. I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble as soon as I walk in. Look, the point is, it was an experience. I doubt it. It was an experience that helped me learn that I really need to feel like I can do what I'm capable of doing. And there aren't that many things I'm good at, but this is it, and I just wanna do quality stuff and make sure that I'm being as funny as I can be.
Well, luckily, you're very, very good at it. You're not.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you like how I did that? Let's get some questions from the audience.
I like your Suburban Riot shirt.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Sunny fan.
Nice.
On the Mick and that show, it's both like really high energy, but one you have like Danny DeVito, and the other one you're surrounded by kids. And I was just wondering, as a performer, what's the difference in like playing against those people?
That's a great question. On Sunny, we do a lot of improvising and playing around, and it goes really fast. We shoot very, very quickly, both all day and also we only shoot 2 months out of the year. So the whole thing's like a whirlwind. And I'm just showing up and acting, and I don't have to do anything else. So, and this one, since I'm also producing it, it's much more business. Like, we have a lot of fun, and I improvise, and you know, Scott MacArthur and Carla Jimenez improvise with me a little bit sometimes too. These poor kids. Sometimes I'll just say something different, and poor Thomas will just be like, or start laughing. I'm like, either one's fine. Let's just make sure he's not in my shot. So it's fine. You stand there. I'll just talk. But I will say they're getting better at it. Little Jack will throw stuff back at me sometimes, and I'm like, what did he just say? Oh, right. Go for it, kid. Let's do this. Yeah, it's a completely different energy, you know? Like, it's still a lot of fun, but I do feel like I'm surrounded by children more on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia than I do on this show.
Do you like producing?
Love producing. It's a lot of work, but I just feel like the episode that you're turning out is your thing. You know, it's so great to be in the editing room and be able to choose takes. And also, I'm on set coaching them a lot, and I'll help them say their dialogue in a bunch of different ways. So it would suck to do that and then let somebody else choose which one. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love all of it.
Next question.
Hi, my name's Nasir. You're a very inspiring actress, especially to me and my friends in the back right there.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I just want to know, who inspired you to become an actress and a producer? I just want to know that.
Carol Burnett was always very inspiring to me growing up. When I was really little, the Carol Burnett show, just all the characters she played. She was the first, that and, you guys are way too young for this, but Gilda Radner on Saturday Night Live, I loved watching a woman be so funny and so not worried about what she looked like was so inspiring. Like, just the uglier, the better. And it was so funny to me. Yeah, I would say they inspired me acting-wise. Honestly, my husband inspired me producing-wise. It's really fascinating to watch him just sort of be in charge and know what he wants and take a lot of input and then, like, just calmly weigh that and make a decision. Yeah, he's still very inspiring to me in that regard.
When you got the chance to produce this, or the offer came in to produce this, did you talk to him about it? Any sort of like hesitations that you might have had, or any thoughts?
No, I mean, I talk to him on a daily basis about things that pop up. Are you asking if I asked him permission? I feel
No,
like
no, not at all.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to attack you again. I felt like things were getting stale. Yeah, I run everything by him, but he's.
Well, the question of like, you do this all the time, and I see you do this.
Yeah.
Like, do you because I would ask someone like
Yeah.
that. I would be like, do you think I have it in me to do
no,
what
I
like
didn't
I
ask
see
him
you?
that. I didn't ask him that.
Far more secure than I am
Yeah.
with my partner.
No, I knew it, yeah. One thing I was worried about was the amount of time it would take me away from home, and we're in a great spot right now where he's writing and he can set his own schedule. So if I'm not there for bedtime, for my kids' bedtime, not our bedtime. If I'm not there for our kids' bedtime, he can be
Let's
there.
talk about no.
I know, my husband needs to be tucked in. It's a whole routine. Yeah, no, that was the part that we had a conversation about because I knew how much I saw for 10, 12 years how much work goes into it. So yeah, that was the part that we talked about, and we got it figured out. Our kids are obviously our very first priority. So if I this trip, I live in Los Angeles, just making this trip, we just cleared his schedule. He's there, he's doing school drop off and pick up and all that stuff.
I think we have time for one more question right here.
Hi.
You are amazing.
Thanks.
Real quick, this was years ago. I was in college and celebrities were just jumping on Facebook, and I sent you a friend request. I was in the Green Man suit with a button down in a casino with my thumbs up, and you did not accept the friend request. Smart move. But you wrote me a message
I
saying...
did. That was nice of me.
It was so nice of you. And so, yeah, that was like probably the first celebrity I'm a fan of to ever like write me just because I had a weird Facebook profile picture. So thank you. That was cool.
Thank you. That's nice.
My question is, you are obviously, we talked already about you being an amazing improv comedian and all the experience. I wanted to know if you had a favorite line from either show that you improvised that made it to air.
That's a great question. I'm not sure if my favorite lines are just little things that the great thing, the reason I love my manager is she'll call me after a Sunny episode airs and she'll be like, and she'll say lines, and every single time it's stuff that I improvised, and I'm like, that's why I'll never fire you. Gosh. Well, I'm real drunk on Sunny doing a Paula Abdul one time. I don't remember the context. Like, what was it the Gang Solves the North Korea situation? Or? Yes. I don't know. Yeah, we were doing a talent show, but Dee's real drunk, and I kind of improvised that whole thing. They asked what I was drinking. I said I was having a rum and cokes, and then her hair looked like a big round wizard, or like I don't, whatever that whole thing was all. It's kind of here and there. I don't know.
Where did the Dee's dance like a sort of used car lot inflated man come from?
That's Glenn making fun of my limbs. Yeah, that's a great question. That's Glenn making
Got
fun
you back.
of me. Yeah. You won this time.
Kaitlin Olson, everybody. That was kind of a joke, but the Mick premieres next week, right? The 26th.
Yes.
What
next
time?
Tuesday, 9 o'clock.
Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Kaitlin Olson is the funniest woman on television. Give it up for her. Kaitlin Olson.
Thank you so much.